terabytes. I'm Tara with Tara Simon Studios, and today we're doing a social distancing Sing Better in Seconds. And today I'm gonna have Jacob Mark Lan on. He is a fan of the channels and apparently is very excited to be singing Better in Seconds with me today. Let's give Jacob a call. I think he's in the US. Let's see where he is. Okay, we're gonna call him. Jacob, what's going on?
It's going good here. How are you?
It's good. That's awesome. I'm really good. It's nice to meet you, buddy. I have seen your emails. We've been emailing back and forth a little bit. Jacob, tell me, why do you love singing?
I've always loved singing. When I was growing up, we would always go to church together as a family. I would be singing the worship songs. My mom was a vocal major, kind of taught me how to harmonize while singing those worship songs. And then since then, I've kind of taught myself, I kind of picked it up as a hobby of trying to teach myself how to sing. And I've entered in a couple competitions here in Bellingham. I've
That's
always
awesome.
loved it and want to continue that.
And so you said Bellingham. Where's that?
Washington.
Oh, Washington. Okay, all right. So shout out to you guys who are in Washington. Very cool. And so what do you hope to pursue as a career?
I hope, so for a Western, I'm planning on pursuing a double performance major in cello and vocal performance.
Awesome. Very cool. And so how did you find my channel, and why do you want to sing Better in Seconds today?
I found your channel. It was recommended to me from a friend who I've been friends with for a long time. We actually went on tour together. I'm a part of the North Stars Chamber Orchestra. Over the past, I'd say, year, I've really been watching your videos and wanting to learn more about singing. So that's kind of why I'm here.
That's awesome.
Want to learn more about singing and how to sing better. So.
Good. Well, we're going to get you doing that today. I'm very excited to listen to you sing. What do you want to sing for me today? Let's get down to it.
All right, so I'm going to sing a song called Crucifixus by Puccini.
Yes.
It's from his oratorio, Messa di Gloria.
Yes. That's all. Okay, let's do it. Oh, wow, what a treat. Okay, singing and playing. Let's do it.
All right.
I love the technique with your piano too. The wrist up at the end. I see you. I see you. Wow. Jacob, that's insane. So I just finished doing some reactions, and I was just talking in my last video about how, you know, you can never judge a book by its cover, and you don't know what you're gonna get, really. I mean, you can sort of surmise, you think, based on the way someone looks, how they're gonna sound. And then there's people like you who, you know, you look a certain way and then you open up your mouth and you sound like freaking this humongous man with a beard. And you're not. You're this 19-year-old guy, young man with no beard, and a baby face. So it's very, very cool to hear. And I can tell, obviously, you've been classically trained, you've been well trained. There are so many amazing elements to your voice. And so we're going to talk about, for those who are watching, we're going to talk about all the great things about Jacob's voice. And then I'm going to do something a little different with him because he's so clearly sound in his technique. I'm going to do something a little different afterwards with him so that you can hear him be put through a little bit of his paces. So here's some great things about Jacob's voice and what he knows about his voice, and you can tell by the way he's executing it. He is someone who 100% knows how to use space as a vehicle for sound. So you are very aware of the length that you need to impart in order to get proper sound spinning, Jacob, and that's really pillar number one in the two pillars of singing. The second is support. And as I was watching him on the piano, you know, there are a lot of risks to accompanying yourself and to sitting while singing, right? But both you overcame with ease. You didn't have any issues. A lot of times pianists in particular hunch over. You get that kind of like concert pianist look, you know, that cartoon animation thing where that's what you see. But your shoulders remained back, your chest remained out, and Jacob did not move his shoulders when he breathed. So that tells me, as I was looking at his profile, that his abdomen was what was expanding and contracting and filling up with air. That's the second pillar, space and support. Any extreme note, high or low, needs more space and support. Those are the two main pillars in which all sound is based upon. There's also micro gradients of things within those two pillars that you need to master to be really a proficient singer, but those are the two main key points, okay? And I feel that Jacob, you have a very good understanding of what both of those feel like as you're singing and how your sound is affected positively by executing that properly. So Jacob, what do you think is your weakest link vocally? How do you think I can help you today? You already have an awesome voice. Everybody, of course, though, including myself, still has room for improvement. What would you like me to kind of help you with today?
So I would say the weakest part of my voice is the upper part of my chest voice, which is what I would like to work on. I feel like when I'm singing in my lower register, that's where I really can project well and really am comfortable singing in my lower half of my chest voice. So I would like my upper half of my chest voice to be just as strong as my lower half.
Okay, perfect. All right, so is there a song, or in this particular song, we can modify the melody too? Is there something that, or an exercise that you struggle with that you want to show me so that I can help you?
When it goes into the higher part, when I'm hitting like the high E flat, that's kind of the top for me as far as acting my chest voice right now. But a lot of the songs I've tried to sing for like bass baritone go higher, like a whole step higher than that. So yeah.
Why don't we take the high part of that phrase then that hits that note and let's use it as an exercise. I like to do this a lot with my students who are a little bit more advanced. So the hardest part of that song, just that one little phrase, I want you to sing right there, and then we're going to raise it up half step by half step and address the problems that arise. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Okay. So actually, let's just stop after the first, the second pro nobis. Okay. Face me. Go up a half step higher, and let's try it again. Good. Good. Okay, half step higher.
Crucifixus etiam pro nobis.
Good. That's still sounding okay to me. Let's go a half step higher.
Crucifixus etiam pro nobis.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is something that a lot of bass and baritones struggle with. I'll say this right now because you guys are masterful and awesome at dropping and creating this like upper mid spin, okay, that creates that nice, very deep and rich and opened and booming sound. But as we go higher, we have to lighten that up a little bit, and that's where you guys aren't comfortable because you're used to that deep, rich, booming sound. You can still be deep and rich, but not so booming when you go up, because there has to be a certain amount of thinness that occurs to take the weight off of the note so that you can get up there. Otherwise, it feels kind of like a strain, right? Like you're like, oh, like it's stretched there. And while we are going to feel a little bit of like kind of like a rubber band stretches, it shouldn't feel like you're to the end of it and like it's about to break, okay? So I want you to think about an upside down triangle. And for those of you guys who are watching, this is something great to practice, especially for men who are watching this, who are in the same kind of vocal classification as Jacob here. So I want you to think of your thumb as the tip of the triangle, and I want you to think of your cheeks as the other 2 points. You guys, you're doing a great job, and if you're like Jacob, you're doing a great job of dropping all the way, but there needs to be a sense of width in order to lighten and brighten the tone so that it can come up to that note. So I want you to make an upside down triangle, or sometimes I call it also a silent scream face. It's this. It's dropped 100%, but then widened like that. And that's the face that you should be making on the nobis. Not no, but nobis. Yeah? Okay, so even if it's just that word, give yourself a little bit of time back up to the word, or hit it right on it, whichever you prefer, a cappella, and let's drop and widen and see how that lightens up the sound, okay? On that, first of all, you went lower, cheater. And second of all, you gotta go wider. Yes, I want you to stay on the note that you had a problem with, okay? Let's try it again. Really, really wide. That sounded better. How did it feel?
It felt better, yeah. It wasn't
yeah. Right. And here's why. Here's just the mechanics of what's going on the inside. The sound is no longer spinning in the middle and the back. By widening here, you are forcing the sound from here forward. And what that does is it creates a lightness of the tone. And when we create a lightness of the tone, we're no longer having to lift as heavy of a vocal weight. Does that make sense? So there's always going to be a certain amount of work involved in singing. Duh. I call it a sport. It's a full body sport, to be exact. And so it's not like you're going to be sleeping and it's going to feel like nothing, but it shouldn't feel like an impossible feat, like you're being asked to do more than what your voice is capable of. I think you can even go higher. So let's try it. Let's go 1/2 step higher, and we're gonna get even wider. So I want you to now to remind yourself, I want you to put your fingers on your cheekbones, and when you go to the no, I want you to move them out towards the sides of your eyes. So the cheeks should move with your fingers like that. You should be smiling as you drop, okay? Let's try it again. 1/2 step up. That was gorgeous. How'd that feel?
Yeah, a little uncomfortable because I'm not used to singing up there.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good point that Jacob brought up. Learning to sing in different ranges that you're not used to singing in, or adding notes to your range that you don't have in your vocal arsenal, so to speak, is weird, uncomfortable, and it almost sometimes feels like there's a door that's ajar. You know, when you're in a car and you're like, Something's not right. Which door is not quite closed? There's that feeling of like something's not quite fitted the way it should be. So yeah, when we are singing and adding new range, it doesn't necessarily feel comfortable. It's not something that we're used to. It's a new phenomenon, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It just means it's new. And muscle memory will eventually kick in once you rinse and repeat over and over. And before you know it, that's going to be a new note that you can call on in a healthy way. So I would like to stretch it one more note, just to take you where you didn't think you could go. Are you scared?
I'll try it.
Let's try it. Okay, so one more half step, and even more so. So if you thought you were at 100% before, you're going up. We're leveling up our space even one more time. And I want you this time to envision the sound once you're here, going through this, there's no necessarily huge space, but going through a space in between your two front teeth, right out that way, okay? On that knobbies especially, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, that was gorgeous. Beautiful. I even can hear some of that lighter head falsetto area coming down and mixing just a hair with that chest voice. Do you feel it kind of like pulling up? Yeah, beautifully done. And where did you feel the sound being placed that time?
Like you said, not quite my chest voice, and I think I was placing it more forward.
Yes, you were. You did a beautiful job at that. And you're actually really good at taking direction. Like, you know, sometimes I tell singers, hey, do this, and they're like, squirrel, what? What are you talking about? But you're actually receiving the direction and executing it very well. Have you ever hit that note before?
I don't think so.
That's awesome. So would you say then that you sang better in seconds, Jacob, as good as you already are? Yes, that's awesome. So listen, guys, for those of you who are watching, this is proof that no matter how good you are, you can always be taught something new. I'm no exception. I'm constantly learning every day. I'm researching new ways of singing, new studies that come out about vocal capabilities, and that is why I love what I do. I love to impart that and pass it on to singers. Jacob here is extraordinarily talented. He's innately talented. He's a musician. You can tell it's in his blood, it's in his bones, it's in his throat, for crying out loud. And sometimes it just takes someone coming alongside of you, like I came alongside of Jacob today, to say, hey, just do this little thing. And those little things end up making such a difference that you're ending up singing a note that you've never sang before. And as a singer, I'm sure, Jacob, you agree, that's super exciting and it's very motivating. It is for me. I mean, my whole day is made when I sing a note that I've never sung before. I'm like, yes, like, this is great. You're not finished. It's not over. You know, your latter will be greater than your past. And that's what I want for all of my singers, including you, Jacob. So thank you so much for being brave, for coming on the show today with me and showing not only your skill, but your ability to take direction and execute that direction to improve your voice and sing better in seconds. So guys, I know that Jacob was amazing to begin with, but if you thought that Jacob sang even better in seconds, make sure you comment in the box below, shout Jacob out, show him some love in the comments box below. And with that, guys, we will see you on the next one. Say bye, Jacob. Bye.